Welcome back to The Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you with us today because we are diving right into a truly fascinating topic. Look, we all scroll past hundreds of images every single day, right? And a lot of them are designed specifically to persuade, provoke, or honestly even manipulate how we see the world. So today we're going to put on our media literacy hats and objectively deconstruct a highly charged piece of political imagery. We're going to pop the hood and see exactly how an artist builds a compelling visual narrative step by step. All right, let's just get right into it. Take a quick sec to just let this sink in. It is undeniably a striking, super provocative visual argument. When something like this rolls across your feed, it's literally built to make you stop scrolling in your tracks. It's meant to hit you with this visceral gut reaction before your logical brain even has a split second to catch up and process what you're looking at. But today, instead of just reacting, we're going to dissect it. Okay, so to really understand a piece of political art, we first have to nail down its core message. Based on our analysis, the central thesis the artist designed this around is this very specific narrative. Just 1 minute. Trump is only satisfied with owning the oil of all the countries in the world, even though children and countries are killed. Now, I want to be incredibly clear right out of the gate here. As an explainer, our job is not to endorse or validate this viewpoint. Not at all. Our job is to be investigators, breaking down exactly how the artist uses visual tools to push this specific narrative onto us, the viewers. And that brings us to our roadmap for today. The artist basically splits their focus into two core pillars. On one hand, you have this aggressive concept of owning the oil. And on the flip side, you have the tragic human consequence, the idea that children are killed. Literally every single artistic choice, every color, every prop, every shadow was deliberately placed to prop up one or both of these pillars. So understanding how these two concepts are visually stitched together is absolutely crucial. Section 1. Deconstructing the visual narrative. The moment you glance at this piece, where do your eyes naturally go? Boom, right to the dead center of the frame. Here we see the likeness of Donald Trump positioned as the main actor. And notice, he's not passive. He is the narrative catalyst. He's leaning forward, hands completely submerged in an oil barrel. By dropping this figure squarely in the middle foreground, the artist makes a pretty definitive statement about responsibility and action. The whole composition is set up so that everything happening around him kind of radiates outward from this specific action. Section 2, the symbolism of oil. Now let's talk about the visual metaphors going on here. Oil is usually black or dark brown, right? But the artist intentionally colors the contents of this barrel a super stark, vibrant red. The barrel itself is red, the liquid is thick, it's splashing out aggressively, and it's actually staining the figure's hands and face. I mean, this is not subtle. It's a highly calculated visual blending of oil and blood. The artist is forging a direct psychological link in our minds between resource extraction and a very violent mortal cost. Let's just zoom out a tiny bit from the center and check out the background. Notice that heavy industrial backdrop? We're looking at dozens of oil derricks stretching way back into the distance, just pumping away under a sky that's completely choked with dark, heavy smoke. So this isn't just about one single barrel. The environment itself is mechanized and polluted. This really hammers home that theme of aggressive, massive-scale resource acquisition that the core thesis claims is happening across all the countries in the world. Section 3. Assessing the human cost. Now look down at the ground the central figure is standing on. The entire scene is set inside this sprawling, completely desolate graveyard. We're talking countless tombstones, rendered in these drab, earthy grays and browns, stretching all the way to that polluted horizon. By surrounding that bright, shocking red splash of the oil barrel with an endless sea of graves, the artist gives a massive sense of scale to the alleged consequence. It instantly injects this profound feeling of tragedy and death right into the middle of that industrial setting we just talked about. Section 4. Analyzing the textual cues. Down in the bottom left foreground, we have this really prominent cracked tombstone, and it features very clear, easy-to-read English text, "The future of the world under Donald Trump." The artist is leaving absolutely zero to chance here. If the visual metaphor of the blood-red oil and the endless graveyard wasn't enough, they are explicitly spelling out their global warning. It anchors all those sweeping emotional visuals to a very literal, specific political statement. Let's shift over to the other side and see how this narrative builds even further. Direct your eyes to that rusty sign standing among the graves on the right. Notice how it features prominent non-English script. So that text is actually in Farsi. And the inclusion of a language other than English is a massive part of the artist's strategy here. It's a deliberate textual anchor that completely broadens the scope of the whole image. It's signaling to us that this is not just some isolated domestic American issue. By dropping Farsi onto a sign denoting a children's graveyard, the artist connects the visual right back to our original thesis, the global death of children across all the countries in the world. It globalizes the entire accusation. Section 5. The power of political imagery. When you really break the whole shebang down, the mechanics of this message rely on 4 key elements, all working together. You've got the central figure acting as the undeniable catalyst. You've got this visceral blending of symbols, literally turning a commodity into a symbol of violence. You've a setting that conveys this immense tragic scale through the graveyard and the derricks. And finally, you have explicit textual declarations in multiple languages to cement that global impact. Look, whether you completely agree with the message or absolutely reject it, recognizing how these elements are layered together is the bedrock of media literacy. It's exactly how an image tries to bypass your logic and tap straight into your emotions.